So this chakra is linked with our awareness, our consciousness, self-knowledge, that sort of inner wisdom that we all have. So the Sanskrit word for the crown chakra is Sahasrara. It's linked with the colour violet or white. So in the videos I was wearing sort of a purpley, violety top, but white is also linked with this, and so a lot of people see white in their mind when they practice working with this chakra. The element is pure white, cosmos pure white as well. So the chant for the crown is Om, as it was for the third eye. And the location is just above the top of the head. So it's actually not on the crown of the head. It sort of floats above the top of the head here. And the affirmation is I know. So the kinds of positions that we're going to get into for crown chakra would, or what you would want to do for the crown chakra, is sitting still. Sitting still, lying still, so in Shavasana. And anything like headstands or bringing the body onto the head. We did crown rolls with sort of the rabbit in the sequence today. So yes, but sitting still and sitting quietly are ways of balancing. So the areas of the body that relate would be the central nervous system, the head, and the gland that relates to the crown is pituitary gland. As I said yesterday in yesterday's video, sometimes the pineal and the pituitary get swapped around with these two, but they're so close to each other in the brain that I can understand that. But for me, it resonates with the pituitary gland, which delivers a lot of the hormones, hello Annie, throughout the whole of the body. And obviously linked with your endocrine system. So imbalances that show up would be depression, exhaustion to a point where there's no real reason for the exhaustion, energetic disorders, confusion, sensitivity to your environment sometimes, so light and sounds, really overly sensitive to things like that can be symptoms of being out of balance. So when we're in balance, we have that sense of unity to everything around us, that connectedness to being in the world, in the universe, that sort of thing. Understanding that there is something probably beyond us, what is just physical and what we can see. So it's having that spiritual belief, that trust, I would say. Courage, valuing life, having trust in the value of life. So sort of allowing yourself to hand over the control of everything to the universe, to allowing the natural course of divine events, divine timing to roll out on its own. Believing in good people, having that faith, that uplifted belief in humanity, that you're a part of a bigger picture, and you may feel small and insignificant maybe at times, but actually little small things can have a great effect. And something I read on Facebook yesterday that I must share, and I think it came from the Dalai Lama, was if you think you're small and significant, think about the scenario of sleeping with a mosquito, and that really kind of created a vision in my mind that actually the smallest thing can be quite significant. So that feeling of consciousness is linked with that. So when there's sort of imbalance, we feel disconnected from the divine source. We feel like there's lack of purpose in our life, maybe. We lose a little bit of direction of what maybe our soul's purpose is. We lose trust in following a path, or we find it difficult to even find our path. What else would be? So hang on, I did pop a few other notes down. Feeling of depression can be very linked with imbalances in the crown, fatigue, certainly insomnia and sleep issues, although they are quite resonant with the third eye as well, which I mentioned yesterday. Headaches as well, very third eye related, but also crown related too. So mental fog, being confused as well, isolated, lack of compassion. There can be all sort of feelings that can be linked with an imbalance. So ways to balance. Start a spiritual practice, whether that's sort of meditation for you daily, and I would suggest starting with maybe 5 minutes a day. And there's so many ways to meditate. You can visualize, you can sit quietly and follow the breath. There's chanting meditations. There's so many. I personally just love to sit, follow the breath for a little while, and then after a while just allow the stillness just to sink in and just feel that peacefulness, that quietness. Things that you're grateful for. So writing down things, and this helps with your journaling as well. So if you've got a journal and every day you write the bits that you've done, but also you write down things you're grateful for, and not the big things like, you know, house, home and stuff like that. Little things I like to be grateful for, you know, maybe opening the window and hearing the birds song that day, or seeing a little creature or animal as I drive past some woodland. Thankful for your morning cup of tea, or just 5 minutes in the sunshine maybe. So just those lovely little things that maybe we do take for granted, but to realise. And another thing I love to do with gratitude is not to necessarily think of all those things like that, is to actually reflect back on the day before, and to re-envisage my day and think of 3 things that I was grateful for, and actually feel them again. So I bring myself back to that point, back to the feeling of gratitude then. Other things for the crown. So doing new things, seeing new things, opening up possibilities there. Cleaning the house, declutter, you know, clear things out, have space for more information or more peacefulness to come through. When we're a bit cluttered and dense in the head, there's no room for anything new, is there? So also going out into open space encourages that too. Get out into nature if you can, it's so freeing. What else? So as I say, meditation, yeah. There are apps that I know of. I don't go on any apps, but there are many. Calm app is one of them that I know of. Insight Timer, I think, do things like that. So many things now online, but I've got a couple of meditations on my YouTube channel, so you can have a look at those, and I'm always adding things here and there. So, you know, if you subscribe, then you'll get new things come through. So moving on to what I've discussed every day, sort of food that you would have. Now, with the crown chakra, there's no food, you would fast. So I know that it's quite popular nowadays to do this intermittent fasting, which I understand is quite good for you to do now and then. I don't really know anyone that does it all the time. So you'd have quite a gap between a meal, so maybe you would miss your breakfast, but you would have your lunch, and some people do it the other way around and miss the end meal of the day. So that is something to consider or look into. What else? So the colours would be violet or white. So I'm in my white top today. But if you love the colour violet, you can wear that. Today I'm wearing my amethyst, which obviously sort of resonates a little bit with the crown chakra, but I don't know, I just felt like wearing that today. So the sort of the purple and the white combined. With the yoga, practice outdoors if you can. You know, in the spring and the summer, it's more drawing to go outside and put your mat on the grass maybe. Anything that draws the blood to the head. So as I mentioned earlier, headstands, shoulder stands, that sort of thing, although that works very well with the throat and the third eye. So a lot of these do sort of cross over and interlink. We did the lotus mudra today, which was lovely as well. There are mudras that work with different chakras, so that's a lovely one for that. Shavasana, so lying in corpse pose, is very resonant with crown. Yoga Nidra, which is something that I will put together for you later on and probably bring into future courses, which is called yogic sleep, Yoga Nidra. And they say that doing sort of a 30-minute practice of Yoga Nidra is the equivalent of about 3 hours deep restorative sleep. So it is really quite a powerful practice. And to scan the body. You know, when we're in our classes, I often get students just to take a few minutes at the beginning and maybe at the end as well. Just start at the head, work the way down, and take a complete in-depth body scan of, you know, how the head and the neck feel, how the shoulders, everything down to the fingertips, because we can take it all for granted so often. And then finally, I don't know too much about essential oils because I'm not trained in them, but I pick up little tips here and there and use my favourite ones. But lavender would be very linked with Crown, and I'm told sage and juniper are as well. So, but I think with essential oils, it's quite a personal thing as to what you like and what you resonate in. Scents and the sense of smell can be quite powerful for some people, when they can create lovely memories, but they can also stimulate other stuff as well. So as I'm not trained, I would never necessarily promote something. I think you have to be guided yourself. So finally, I come on to the end part, which is the crystals. So we're going to start with clear quartz. Is a wonderful stone. There's a couple of 0.1s there. I have a flat stone that I use often when I'm doing crystal treatments, because it lies flat on the body, or in this case it would be above the head. And a lovely little crystal ball as well, which one day I would love to have a huge crystal ball, but I haven't got one yet. So I'll pop that one down for the moment. But these points are lovely. And sometimes you get them where there's a point each end, which means a double terminated quartz or just a single terminated quartz. So a very, very powerful healer, one of the most powerful healers, along with amethyst, I would say, for energy. It's an energy amplifier, so it's I would say it's the most powerful one on the planet, and that's what I've heard from other people. So it absorbs energy, it stores energy, it releases and it transmits. So this is why we have quartz crystal in our watches. It's been used for a long time in science. It is I would say it was a master healer. If there was one stone that you were going to get, I would say clear quartz, because it helps with everything. Used for pretty much any condition, immune system, hormones, aligns the chakras and the subtle body. It cleanses the auric energy as well and the subtle body. It's said to be a deep soul cleanser, and raises the your energies as well. So that is a lovely stone. If there's one you were going to get, I'd have that one. Diamond. So I don't have diamonds lying around, but I do have my engagement ring. So we have diamond. Bonds, relationships. So obviously it's quite. This is probably why we use it for you know, weddings and marriage. A symbol of purity, fidelity. This also is good for EMF, having around sort of your devices. It's as an amplifier of energy as well, very much like the clear quartz. This, I'm told, it never needs to be recharged. A lot of stones will take on energy, and they need to be cleansed, so sort of washed through, so that they can be recharged for use again. This one, I'm told, it doesn't ever need to be. Cleanses the aura, helps with fearlessness as well, so that's a lovely stone. And then finally, I've got this beautiful one here, labradorite. I've got to say it properly. And if I just sort of twinkle it in the light, you will see how it's almost rainbow of colours there. It is really quite a beautiful stone. This also works with the throat chakra as well. Deflects unwanted energies. So it's a great barrier against negative energy. What else can I say about this? It raises your consciousness, so it's really good for sort of spiritual energies. This one helps with the brain, the eyes, to reduce blood pressure, hormones. I'm told it helps with gout and sort of colds and things like that. So I think I'll pop that down in the notes that I'm going to share later. But this is a beautiful stone as well. It really, and they're all a little bit different. This is quite a large one. So there we are. Anyway, thank you for joining me on this lovely week chakra journey. Catch up if you can. If you're a little bit behind, that's absolutely fine. There will be more courses and other exciting things in the pipeline, so stay tuned, stay linked with me. Okay, Om Shanti, Namaste. Thank you. Bye.